everybody, and welcome to Positivity. We have the wonderful Julia Sibley here today. Hello, Julia.
Morning.
And you have been nominated by your lovely daughter, who says that you are full of positivity. So we're expecting big things.
Okay, right, yes. Hope so.
So where is lockdown for you, Julia?
So I'm in the middle of East Hertfordshire in a tiny little village called Bulls Green that has literally nothing. We have no street lights. We have one pub, which obviously is shut, and the dustman. And that's about all we have in our little hamlet of Bulls Green. Middle of nowhere.
Lovely. And are you enjoying the slower pace of lockdown, or are you itching to get out and see lots of people?
Oh, good question. I am not missing commuting, fighting for your seat on the train in the morning, fighting on the underground, and then the office. But it's much more, taking a lot longer to do normal work sitting at the computer at the kitchen table, because you can't rush to the filing cabinet and look something up. You have to trawl back through emails. Or have to email my colleague, and then whereas before we just have a chat over the computer, so everything's taking a lot longer. But it has made me realise how much money I waste on commuting and how many hours a week of my life I've wasted commuting. But some of the meetings are very difficult over Zoom. You need the face-to-face actually.
Yeah. And do you think it will change you moving forward? Do you think you will reduce your travel when we return to the normal, or do you think it will return to as it was before?
No, I don't think anything, actually. I can't think of any industry that's going to return to as it was before. I think everything's been impacted from, look at, if you do the whole age of everybody from nursery school through to a care home, nothing is going to operate the same as before, which is quite scary, but it's also quite interesting, I think. So yes, I will certainly review. I've realised, as you heard at the beginning, the Labrador, how much actually he is an outside dog and how much he has been inside with me working all the time. But I will also, yes, I think we've all proved we can work from home. So you don't need half the meetings used to traipse across London for. So certainly we'll look to cut down probably at least a day a week in London. I hope.
Yeah, no, yes, exactly. That's good. And before we move on to what you're doing in London, obviously this is Positivity and we need a cup of tea in hand. Can you share with us what your cup of tea of choice is?
So my favourite shop in the world, got it?
Yes.
And it's lemon and ginger this morning.
Good choice, and a very good shopping choice as well. Can't wait to return when it all opens.
Correct. Even to just have afternoon tea, even if I don't buy anything. Exactly.
Yes, well, actually seeing that, I've been moving house this weekend, and when your lovely daughter last went to Fortnum & Mason, I asked her to bring back a hamper, and she brought back a Christmas decoration Fortnum & Mason hamper, which is now has now been moved. So it's made me think of Fortnum & Mason, how much I do want a proper hamper next time Lucinda goes there.
Well, very good.
Oh well, a good strong choice there. So going back to why you're in London all the time, what is it that you do for a job? If you'd like to share a bit more about that.
Okay, so I'm Chief Executive of a grant giving educational trust called the Savoy Educational Trust. I'm a grant giving for the hospitality industry. So we give away between £1 million and £1.5 million every year. For the majority of that goes to educational institutions, so schools who've got their food tech room that need it refurbished, to colleges of FE who run hospitality and catering and need a new training kitchen or training restaurant. They need bursaries, they need funding for travel when the students go out on placements and things, and then higher education for some extracurricular activities like field trips and things, but all related to the hospitality industry.
Yes, wow. And obviously the hospitality industry has been severely affected during COVID. Have you seen a difference in sort of the grant applications that are coming through, and how people are changing direction at the moment in the hospitality sector?
The sector is decimated at the moment, and if you follow any of them on Twitter, you will see the huge concern is how they're going to come out of it, who will come out of it, and who sadly won't come out of it. There will be household names that you won't see again, I suspect. The latest quote from the Beer and Pub Association is that probably 30,000 pubs won't open again, which is a huge, horrific figure. In the hotel side, what they're trying to do now, if they've got outside space, obviously it helps, but they're trying to work out if they can open. They won't offer you much food, but they're trying to prove that they're going to be as safe as they possibly can. So they're all doing very strict hygiene, infection control, basically a good food safety, but advanced, if you like, adding a lot of sanitizing and things, and trying to prove that you can check in online before you get there. So none of this, you know, mine host waiting to greet you and lots of loitering at the reception desk and a crowded foyer and things. They're going to try and make it, using technology as well, in a good way, you get in as safely as possible, and then you use the hotel as safely as possible. But with the 2-meter social distancing, that is going to make restaurants and pubs in particular practically impossible. So there's a huge campaign to try and make the government listen. I think we're the only country in Europe now that's keeping to the 2-meter, that to make, if they came down to 1 meter, it would make it so much more viable. Because at the moment, most of the people are saying they could only open with 30% occupancy. Well, if you've still got all your bills to pay and you need all your staff in the kitchen to prepare the meals, how do you, it doesn't add up, does it?
No. Yes, I saw something on the weekend as well for sports stadiums, and just by reducing it to 1 meter will make it so much more viable economically as well. So it's going to be interesting how it progresses, I think.
Yeah, but there's huge anxiety and stress in the industry. So we're all doing what we can to try and help. So back to your question, our applications, yes. Our applications for our trustee meeting, which is by Zoom on Wednesday morning, is probably 60% up on this time last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
But looking at, I mean, I'm just looking on a very small scale and looking at how locals are supporting local restaurants and pubs at the moment. I feel like everyone, once this is all over, they will be out to support those businesses to try and get them up and running in as best a possible way as they can. Do you think that will be the case?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that this has shown, as you see everywhere, that how we've all gone back to our communities, haven't we? Because you can't go anywhere else. So you meet people, you think, gosh, I'd forgotten, you know, you live around the corner, sort of thing. So yes, definitely. I mean, our heart and soul is trying to help Mark next door at the pub to, once he gets up and running and got staff there, and he's got huge costs, that he can make it work. Absolutely. Yes, I think everybody will do that. This was saying, you know, about at Barn, the Monty, I think you'll all try very hard to help him, won't you?
Yes. Yeah, I think that'll be very difficult to try and support them as soon as it reopens. Yeah. I think a certain Marcus Berry might be itching to get back there.
Might be. Rumour has
no comment. No. No, amazing. And so that's your work life, is the hospitality sector. And how have you been enjoying life in lockdown and socially, physically, whatever it is that you're doing? How have you been keeping positive that way?
Oh, that's it. Well, so from very early on, probably the first week, I thought, right, have to keep into a routine, otherwise going to go mad doing this. So daily decided, stick to routine. So I had a list of things to do, clean and tidy, which was not at the top of the list, and that gets the minimum amount of time weekly and should be daily. Exercise, be creative, obviously do the day job, and garden. And so each thing got various amount of time each day, depending on what day of the week it was and how busy I was. But I've worked out exercise is very important to me, always has been throughout my life. So we did your challenge, your 771, thank you.
Yes.
Which was lovely actually, because we got a squad together of the junior members of the family. I don't quite know how I got roped in, but anyway, but we took it on, we did a marathon a day. So that was brilliant. And at the moment I'm in the middle of one for Hospitality Action, because we can't physically all get out and about, we are individually we're trying to do the coastline of the United Kingdom, which is just under 20,000 miles. So we're all walking, cycling or running, and then you add your miles on Strava. And it started 9 o'clock Thursday morning, finishes at 6 o'clock tonight. And by last night, I think there were 536 of us doing it. We've got 5,000 miles to go today. But the young lads are being very competitive. Yeah, the young lads are out on their mountain bikes, so they're clocking it up. Boris and I are gently, my target is 20 miles, because it's a 20,000 mile challenge, and £200. So,
amazing. Amazing.
That finishes tonight. Yeah.
And when you say Boris, that's Boris the dog, I'm assuming, not Boris.
Sorry, yes. The Prime Minister is not in lockdown with me. Let's just dispel that rumour immediately. Yeah, thank you.
just had to clarify that.
Yes, yeah. So do that, and then try and be creative. Otherwise, as you probably find it as well, because I know you're a workaholic, you just sit at the computer. And you're not getting a good start-finish time of work and life. So I try to be creative. So here's one I made earlier. Luckily, I went to the charity shop just before they closed. And if you buy the mini dummy tass, and then from the internet, you can buy wax. And I'm making candles for Christmas presents. Can you? I don't know if you can see it.
Yes, I can. That's amazing. Oh,
you can't smell it, but it's absolutely beautiful. This one is called Yuletide, and so it smells of Christmas. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Do you want us to cut that out so nobody sees what they're getting on their Christmas list this year?
No, because the people that are getting this won't be watching this, so it's fine. No.
Okay. That's good. I love that. I love everyone's being so creative with what they're doing. My mum's been making soap. I mean, she's never made soap in her life. But that's what she's doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
You have to. So you have to have some creative. You have to try and stay positive. And it has certainly at the beginning incredibly easy to reach for junk food. And I've had to make a conscious effort to actually go to healthy food. And if the news or the social media starts to make you anxious, actually stop watching it on repeat. It's not something I would ever do normally, so quite why I thought I need to watch Sky News or BBC News 24/7 is ludicrous, and actually you just think no, so stop that. And I think with the exercise and the healthy food, and I think also, I mean it's a coined phrase now, but you need to start with the mantra that it's okay to not be okay during this.
Yeah,
actually. And realise, I mean, as I say, it has attacked, it is going to continue to impact every area. Talking to some educationalists the other day, they are calling this generation, the school children, the COVID cohort. I thought, what? And he said, there will be an impact, whatever age they are. He said, you know, when even if they're in year 7 now, when their GCSE results come through, people will be able to track it back and say, they were the COVID cohort. And you think, wow, so huge impact. And I think we're not there yet. I mean, I do a lot with the livery company as well, as you know, the Worship Company bin holders, and we're looking at our grant giving, and we had quite a very good meeting by Zoom the other day, but also quite somber, because we're working out that we don't know what we don't know about this virus yet and the impact, and we're trying to, what's the expression, that keep our powder dry with some of our grant giving, because we think there's going to be a huge knock-on effect when restaurants try to open. So come the autumn, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
There's a brilliant new, quite young charity in the industry called Only a Pavement Away, which implies you're only a pavement away from being homeless. And he deals in particular with ex-veterans and ex-offenders who become homeless. But they found now they've got some young hospitality staff in London who, of course, could, when this happened, stopped, if they're agency staff or 0-hour contract, no money, couldn't pay their rent. And you think, wow, so they're going to be, A, they haven't got a job and they're going to be homeless. So just, yeah, huge impact everywhere. But the anxiety and the mental health issue is going to be huge.
Yeah. And I think that's so true. I think everyone's sort of thinking, great, everything's going to reopen on the 4th of July and everything's going to be okay again. But we've just got to manage that long-term impact, both of the financial, but also, as you say, the mental side and supporting everyone. Yeah. Exactly. Yes. So communities are going to be more important than ever, I think, moving forward.
I think so. Yes. And all. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Now, one of my final questions is, I've been asking everybody else that's come on, is if you've found any books, any podcasts, any TV shows that you've come across during lockdown that you would recommend for others to watch. We've obviously said to avoid the news and so on for obvious reasons, but if there's anything that you recommend.
No, well, it's quite boring actually, but when it started there were some fantastic financial from our fund managers, fantastic webinars. So every Thursday 11 o'clock, it's my next investment webinar, which actually was quite interesting. And actually they are hospitality related ones that I listen to, really, because they're all coming at it from a different angle, often with the same ending, but they're all with different angles. So they're very interesting. And then I've got one tomorrow morning, is the I think it's Director General, through the Clink charity that we support. And they often do a breakfast at HMP in Brixton, but obviously we can't go there at the moment. So this is a Zoom listening to an MP, and I think he was the Attorney General, Robert Buckland. So that'll be very interesting. So doing lots of Zooming and things. Yeah. Reading, there is a pile of books waiting, yes, but haven't got around to that yet.
No. But I think it's going back to what you said earlier as well, having the to-do list and having purpose every day, every week is so important, and to keep it all very different at the same time. That's all amazing. Yes. Thank you so much, Julia. And the final question is, who would you like to nominate to come on Positivity next?
She'll love me for this, but I think you know her, Sandra McClellan.
Oh yes, from HR Inspire. Amazing.
Exactly. She is brilliant. We Zoom every other Tuesday at 11 o'clock for a half an hour catch up and gossip and chat about the dogs and things. And she is incredibly positive. She's working brilliantly, and she is very aware of a lot of the mental issues that are going to come out from a lot of her clients. So, but she's very positive and she loves tea.
Oh yes, that's good. Perfect. Oh well, we look forward to having her on. Amazing. Well, thank you so much to you and Boris.
Pleasure.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Julia.
See you soon. Bye.